Shalom, I'm Marie Pilchowski, and this is the 60 on the 95, the latest Israel news for teen Israel advocates. In our first story, we'll look at the struggling peace process between Israel and the Palestinians. For over 20 years, Israel and the Palestinians have been trying to come to a peace agreement and have failed. Secretary of State John Kerry arrives in Israel to try to get the two sides together. According to U.S. officials, Kerry brings with him a West Bank security plan that he intends to present in meetings with Israeli and Palestinian leaders this week. Among the many issues of debate between the Israelis and the Palestinians is the Jordan Valley, shown here in the picture in the dark green section between the West Bank and Israel on the map, and whether Israel will be allowed to keep soldiers there, a position Israel insists on. Israel got a strong vote in its favor as reports circulate that Jordan has been pushing the United States to support Israel's position that it needs to maintain a security presence in the Jordan Valley under any agreement with the Palestinians. Our second story is a confusing one, but one that demands clarity, especially for Israel advocates. A bill being debated in the Knesset is called the Pror-Begin Bill, which is a 5-year economic development initiative seeking to regulate Bedouin settlement in the south. It's a little confusing, so let's explain. This means that it tells where Bedouins can and cannot live, giving them exclusive rights to certain areas, but banning them from others. The Bedouins in question are Israeli citizens, many of which serve in the IDF, but the Palestinians have taken up their claim, almost seeming like it's a Palestinian issue. This plan, and the bill being debated, aims for compromise solutions for tens of thousands of Bedouins currently scattered in unrecognized villages throughout the Negev, legalizing 63% of their claimed land, and giving it to the Bedouins to develop and settle. Bedouin and their supporters on the left oppose the bill because they say the legislation will result in up to 40,000 Bedouins losing their land. Opponents of the bill on the right criticize the bill as being too generous to the Bedouins, saying that the state is giving away land for free, land that the Bedouins could not prove to be theirs in court. Arab members of the Knesset appealed to Secretary Kerry to stop the bill, calling the plan discriminatory and a violation of international law. Where did they get this from? They quoted UN and Amnesty International officials condemning the plan and asked for Secretary Kerry's immediate intervention to halt the proposed plan, which is designed to expel thousands of Palestinian citizens in Israel from their existing homes. They then went on to call the plan ethnic cleansing, a term usually reserved for genocide. Now, whether one agrees with the bill or not, it clearly isn't ethnic cleansing. There's no genocide going on here, and it's important for Israel advocates to defend Israel when language like this is used to describe its actions. In a recent survey taken of American feelings on In a recent survey taken by American Feelings on Foreign Policy, Iran continues to be a threat to the U.S. in the eyes of the American public. 68% of respondents see Iran's nuclear program as a serious threat to the U.S., only a slight change from the surveys conducted in 2009 and 2005. The survey shows that the majority of Americans do not believe that Tehran is seriously committed to finding a solution to the controversy regarding its nuclear program. Among the respondents who had heard about the negotiations with Iran, only 33% believed that the Iranian leaders were taking the talks seriously. 60% said that they were not. These findings should have some effect on how the President and Congress approach Iran in coming negotiations. That's been today's 60 on the 95, the latest Israel news for teen Israel advocates. We hope you'll tune in next time. Have a great day, and let's look forward to peace in Israel. Shalom.